everybody, welcome back to Ozark Mountain Goats. I'm Josie, and it seems like it's been forever since I've done anything in the kitchen. So since it's my sister's birthday this week, happy birthday Paula, I thought I would make her some cookies and go ahead and record that. Also, it'll kind of help me get my mind off the election since I've been kind of obsessed with it lately. But anyway, it seems like I really went overboard this year with baking for the holidays. I made everything from pumpkin cake with cream cheese frosting to a double batch of fudge to cookies to peanut brittle and scotcheroos. And anyway, my sister Paula and I are both a little bit burnt out on all the super sweet stuff. So she really likes shortbread cookies and she likes pecan sandies. So I'm going to make pecan thumbprint cookies with almond icing. And I thought that since they are not quite as sweet as all the stuff we've been indulging in, I would make those today. So we are going to start out with a cup of butter, or 2 sticks. And I've got this pretty soft because this is a pretty dry recipe. It's not as moist as your average cookie recipe. So I just think it helps get this mixed up if you have some really softened butter. So you're going to mix, anyway, those 2 sticks of butter with 1/4 cup of sugar and just cream that together. By the way, I've got my oven at 300 degrees. Next, I'm going to add a couple of cups of flour. I've got 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, as I mentioned, this is a pretty stiff, dry batter, so I'm going to now just stir in a cup of finely chopped pecans. And you can put them in a food processor, you can put them in a magic bullet or anything like that to chop them up. I actually did these by hand with my rolling pin. I put them in a baggie and just smashed them. I think it makes it less powdery, and so that's why I like to do it by hand. But however you want to do it, it takes a cup. So I'm going to get these mixed up. As I mentioned, actually this is making a lot of noise. Let me get a towel. So as I mentioned, this is a somewhat dry, stiff cookie dough. So that's what you're looking for. All right, I got it mixed up pretty well. Let me just move this stuff out of the way and we're going to start loading our cookie sheet. My baking sheet is ungreased, and you can use parchment paper if you prefer, but it's not necessary, so I'm not going to today. Anyway, I'm using just a little cookie scoop, and these don't flatten out when they bake. So I'm going to put them fairly close together, and I'm hoping that I can get these all done in maybe 2 batches. Because it is a slow baking cookie. You know, most cookies are done in maybe 8 to 12 minutes. These cook kind of low and slow. They're going to bake for 20 to 30 minutes at 300. So I'm just going to load up my baking sheet here. Okay, last one. And these are called thumbprint cookies, and what you do is you just take your thumb and you're going to make an indentation in each cookie, and then when you get your icing made after they've baked, you'll fill these little indentation with icing. Okay, these are going to go in the oven. Again, it'll be 20 to 30 minutes. For my oven, it's going to be about 25 minutes. And then we'll get this next batch in. Okay, I've got my second cookie sheet loaded, and when the first one's done, we'll pop these in. I think I got 15 on my first one and 12 on this one. So my first batch is almost done, and I like to put the icing on while they're warm. So I'm going to go ahead and get it mixed up. In here I've got a cup of powdered sugar, and to that I'm going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla. And by the way, I have to thank my other sister. She was just here visiting, and she brought me a really big thing of Mexico vanilla, and I love this stuff. It lasts forever. So anyway, thanks Melanie. Half a teaspoon of vanilla and half a teaspoon of almond flavoring extract. I'm just gonna mix this up with a spoon. Then you're gonna add water just a little bit at a time. In this little dish, I've got 2 tablespoons. I don't know if I'm gonna need it all, but I'm just gonna drizzle some in and a little at a time. You want the consistency to be pretty thick, kind of pasty. But it should be able to kind of slide off the spoon when you put it on the cookies. Boy, I'm making a mess. If I didn't have that towel there, you wouldn't be able to notice near as much. Yeah, it's real pasty. Smells good. I like that almond flavoring. It really makes the cookies delicious. So I've put at least a tablespoon in so far, maybe slightly more. Anyway, you can see how pasty this is. That's about what you want, so that it'll slide off your spoon and you can load the little crevices on your cookie. I'm going to go ahead and put a little food coloring in these just to make it fun. I think I'll go with blue since we did all the red and green at Christmas. See how that does. Okay, I'm all ready for my cookies. Okay, I'm just going to leave those right there on the cookie sheet, and when they cool in a minute, I'll show you what they look like on the bottoms. So I'm just going to take a couple of teaspoons, and it doesn't take a whole lot, maybe half a teaspoon or so, and I'm going to put that right in that little well there, and it'll spread out and get kind of glassy looking and be real pretty. You can definitely wait until the cookies cool to do this. I just like to do it when they're hot. I'm going to move these to a little parchment paper. Really pretty little cookies. I like them. Not too sweet. In fact, the cookie itself is not sweet at all, but the frosting gives it just enough without being overwhelming. You probably see the bottom, just barely browned. Okay, I'm just going to finish these up and get them over to my sister. But I appreciate you guys watching. Please be sure and hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell. And Paula, happy birthday. Happy New Year, everyone. And as always, we'll catch you later. And thanks for the cookie, Paula.